Well, it's not just pupils and parents facing disruption today. Industrial action across the rail network threatens to cause difficulty for those heading to work. Joining us now from London's Euston Station is the General Secretary of the Aslef Union, Mick Whelan. Hello to you, Mr Whelan. It's always good to see you. Thanks for joining us on the programme. You've rejected an 8% pay rise earlier this year. Am I right in saying that?
We rejected an offer we knew nothing about that contained a number of red lines and was offered to us through a process that was outside what we'd agreed and whatever else. And for that, we were told to give up every condition that we have, national and local, and they wouldn't make us redundant until 2024, Kay. I think it was just posturing and pleading in bad faith. It was deliberately set up to fail.
OK. I know that I'm guessing that you deal with the Transport Secretary as well as obviously the owners of the railways that you work on. Has there been any movement?
Met with the Rail Minister last week. He's facilitating talks. We go back into talks next week.
What are you hoping for from that?
We was going, you know us, we're optimistic. None of us want to be here. The people standing behind me don't want to be losing money. They don't want to be on a picket line. But at the same time, after 4 years, they do believe they deserve a pay rise.
There's no more money, is what we're being told. Heard from the Education Secretary representing the government this morning. She said you can strike all you want. There's no more money.
Well, in that case, we're going to be here for a very long haul. And as you know, it's about 1 million people out on strike today, with more people balloting, more people coming on board. It's not just the rail sector, it's the civil service, it's the fire brigade, it's the teachers, the lecturers. It's all the people we've just been talking to this morning, Kay. And at some point, something's got to give. But let's just look at my industry for a second. We've got 15 companies out on strike today. Every one of them's declaring profits and every one of them's paying dividends, but they're not giving the people that work for them a pay rise. There's something wrong in that, isn't there?
The march today on Parliament, organised by the TUC, is about this anti-strike legislation. You once said that anti-strike legislation could result in longer periods of industrial action. Explain that to me.
Well, if it takes 10 days to have the equivalent amount of effect as a one-day strike, quite naturally strike's going to take longer. We don't understand how this bill is going to work. In Europe, where they have minimum strike levels, they don't utilise them. All of a sudden, it's gone from being minimum strike levels or minimum service levels to minimum safety levels. We're in a safety critical injury. There's nothing about safety involved in any of this. This is just, we are already the worst trade union laws in Western Europe, and this is just a further thing to just take away people's right to strike and their human rights. And it's a backdoor form of indenture slavery.
And Mick, would you coordinate any future strike action along with other major unions to coincide with the budget in the middle of next month, if it was necessary?
I think there'll be discussions through the TUC and the affiliates of the TUC about future days of action. If that's one of the days that's put forward, we'll be part of that discussion.
Sounds as though you're pretty resigned to having to fight more before you get anywhere near what you're looking for.
I think so. I think it's every sector and everywhere is feeling this. And the government has been in charge of the finances for 12 years. This isn't a new thing, and only they can relax. Look, if they're not paying any pay rises, there is no wage inflation. But if you do pay pay rises, the bulk of it comes back in tax, and also comes back through what people spend through VAT and indirect taxes as well. It's the benefit of the economy and the benefit of everybody to give people disposable income that creates jobs, that creates worth, and kickstarts the economy again. This idea that we can have a 26% cut in pay or cost of living, when a week in which food inflation went up to 16.3%, was it? It's quite frightening. Something's got to give at some point.
And it doesn't look as though it's going to be your union anytime soon. Thank you for taking the time to join us on the programme this morning. As always, much appreciated. Thank you.